Hello, everyone. Today you will hear an interesting story. As is often the case, Mikola and Anna met at a village club. The boy had lived here since he was a kid, and the girl came to visit her grandmother from the city on weekends. The new girl, everyone in the club whispered, she was certainly different from the village girls. Blonde long braids, a fashionable rabbit coat, high leather boots. It was simply impossible not to pay attention to such a beauty. Guys immediately started hanging around Anna, and the calm and modest Mikola stood at a distance and swallowed his saliva. At one point, he felt Anna's surprised look on him, because the guy looked something like one of her favorite actors. And when the next dance was announced, the girl confidently walked across the club to Mikola. The guy could not believe his happiness. His heart was beating fast, as if it was about to jump out of his chest. "May I have this dance?" Anna smiled seductively, holding out her hand to him. Mikola almost went crazy with happiness. As he hugged her slender body, he could see the envious glances of the young people in the club. It was a very pleasant feeling, because he had never danced a slow dance with a girl before. That evening, Mikola walked Anna home. It was then that they shared their first kiss. Now the girl began to visit her grandmother much more often because she missed her beloved boyfriend. When her parents found out that their student daughter had a boyfriend who was a tractor driver, they scolded her a lot and tried to do everything possible to keep her from going to the village. They wanted a rich groom for Anna, but at the beginning of summer, the girl admitted that she was pregnant. So her parents finally accepted it and celebrated a wonderful wedding. The young couple settled in the city with Anna's parents. They lived happily together. The birth of their daughter was a great joy for the family. The girl looked very similar to Mikola. The young parents always walked outside together with their child, playing with her and loving her dearly. Mikola got a job at a local waste processing plant. Although he was physically exhausted during the day, in the evening he still helped his beloved wife with the housework and raised their daughter. Anna's parents passed away, leaving the family a beautiful and large house in the city that they had built themselves when they were young. After graduating from university, Anna got a job at a school as a math teacher. She proved to be a good specialist and soon became a class teacher of fifth graders. Now the young woman worked late into the night. She checked notebooks, gave extra lessons because the family always needed money, and held parent-teacher conferences. It was at one of these conferences that she met the parents of one of her students. Her mother, Olga, stayed at home and did not work anywhere. She was very beautiful and intelligent. Her father, Igor, worked as a truck driver. The trucker earned a good income and had a great sense of humor. The friendship between these families developed quickly as they were around the same age and shared common interests. They celebrated New Year's holidays together, followed by Olga's birthday, and then celebrated International Women's Day at Anna and Mikola's house on the outskirts of the city. After a few months, Mikola began to notice that his wife was acting strangely. She would put socks in the fridge or a knife in the microwave. He would often have to ask her about something 2 or even 3 times, and she would stare dreamily out the window, not hearing him at all. Concerned, Mikola decided to have a serious talk with Anna to find out the reasons for her inattention. She explained that she was feeling bored at work due to her heavy workload and asked him to let her go on vacation to a wonderful sanatorium in a neighboring country, which she believed would help her regain her strength. Mikola felt sorry for his beloved and agreed to let her go, especially since Aya, who was going there for work the next day, offered to take her for free, which was financially beneficial. The next morning, a happy Anna got into Aya's big truck and set off with him to a neighboring country. Little did anyone know, this man had been her lover for almost 6 months. They secretly met outside their hometown, enjoying each other's company. Anna really liked this man, who knew how to cheer her up and give her real pleasure. So when he asked her to go on a romantic trip with him, Anna agreed. Together, they figured out how to deceive their partners and went on several more trips. She had a great time, never once mentioning Mikola. When Anna returned home, she behaved as usual, being attentive and tender. Aya was happy with these trips because this woman kept him from falling asleep while driving. One day, Aya asked to stay with them for the night when he was returning from a flight, claiming that the icy roads made it impossible for him to drive his large car across town. Mikola was surprised by this, as most men are eager to get home after work. He also pointed out that Aya could have simply left his car at their house and taken a bus home, as there were plenty of buses running in the city. During dinner, Mikola expressed his thoughts to Aya, who remained silent. Mikola drew his own conclusions from this, thinking that his friend may have had a fight with his wife and had nowhere else to stay. However, a week later, Igor spent the night at their house again. This time, Mikola was understanding, but 10 days later, the situation repeated itself. After work, Anna mentioned that Igor wanted to stay with them again that day, and she seemed to glow with happiness upon hearing of his arrival. "Why is he calling you and not me?" wondered Mikola. His wife immediately turned red, and her eyes expressed anger. She did not hesitate to attack Mikola with accusations. The woman exclaimed angrily, "How do I know? When he comes, be sure to ask. Am I the only one who has to think about everything?" While Anna was teaching, Mikola went to the factory. He often worked night shifts. In the afternoon, after a little rest, he would do everything around the house, cook, help his daughter with homework, and do all the household chores. His wife came home tired every day, so he took on most of the responsibilities. Whenever he asked her to do something around the house, she would immediately answer sharply, "I earn more money than you. This is my house, not yours, and you are not the boss here." Mikola remained silent, gritting his teeth at Anna's attitude towards him. He couldn't understand what was happening to her. The man sincerely believed that the difficult period in their family would soon be over. Perhaps she was getting too tired at work, and that's why she was behaving like this. But one night, he realized very clearly what was happening. That night, Aya also stayed overnight. Sitting in the kitchen, he told Mikola that he had had another fight with Olga. She allegedly did not appreciate everything he did for her. Mikola listened to his friend in silence, not wanting to give him any advice because he did not want to interfere in someone else's family, especially since he had his own family problems. After dinner, Mikola and Anna went to their bedroom. Aya slept in the next room. Hearing a rustling behind the wall in the middle of the night, Mikola woke up. The bed where Anna was supposed to sleep next to him was empty and crumpled. Suddenly, he heard her moaning, soft laughter, and whispering. He quietly opened the door to the next room and went numb. His lawful wife was being kissed by a trucker friend. Suddenly, sensing something, she looked around. Mikola saw fear and contempt in her eyes. The man returned to bed, lay down, and silently stared at the ceiling, wondering what to do next. He wanted to kill these lovers and leave here forever, but there was only one thing stopping him: his daughter. Mikola really wanted his child to live in a happy family because he remembered his own difficult childhood with a drunken father and constant arguments. Therefore, he decided to stay with his daughter and work on his personal life. A few minutes later, Anna snuck into bed. He could feel her anxious breathing and remained silent, barely restraining himself from hitting the traitor. The new day did not change anything. In the morning, their daughter came to their room and spent some time with her parents. She said how much she loved her mom and dad and then got ready for school. Anna cooked breakfast, and all three of them, she, Mikola, and Aya, a family friend, silently ate. Silently, Mikola chewed on sandwiches and drank strong coffee. Then the trucker also silently got up and left the house. Cheerful and happy, Anna ran to see him off at the doorstep. Through the window, Mikola could see them saying goodbye, hugging and kissing, not even hesitating to look at their old neighbor, who kept staring at them in surprise. "Is everything okay?" Anna asked cautiously when she returned to the house. "Yes," Mikola replied, simply repairing his daughter's backpack. "And you're not gonna say anything?" The woman became bolder. No. Since then, Aya had been staying overnight at their house more and more often. And Mikola put up with it. Anna had no idea why. But she was happy with everything. A passionate lover in bed and a calm, legitimate husband. But Mikola began a new life of his own, one that no one could have guessed. He never made love to his wife again. He was disgusted to touch this traitor, and there was another good reason for that. This life lasted for 5 long years, until their daughter graduated from high school and entered university. The young girl moved to another city and rarely visited her parents anymore. But for some reason, Mikola was the only one she communicated with. Finally, Hannah got tired of hiding with her lover and wanted to be happy with Aya, who assured her that he loved her and would not marry her because she had Mikola. And the woman suddenly made up her mind. One morning in the kitchen, she said proudly, pack your things and leave. Where? Mikola was surprised. Wherever you want, but you will not return to the village because your sister took the house. You didn't listen to me. I asked you to sue her. Now you don't even have a corner, so go out into the world, Anna said, enjoying her arrogance. Mikola decided that he too could start a new life, as his daughter was now an adult. He silently packed his belongings in a bag and made a phone call from his cell phone on the doorstep. The man spoke very gently. Svetlana, I am finally free. Are you waiting for me? Yes, then I'm coming to you forever. Anna was speechless. This modest, quiet man had a mistress, and she was stunned by what she had heard. She stared at him with a mute gaze as he walked straight into the neighboring yard, where a young widow lived. He had helped her more than once, nailing a nail or fixing a faucet. Svetlana ran out of the door, hugged him tightly, and kissed him gently, then grabbed her bag and led him by the hand to her house. Didn't you know? An old neighbor, who had been interested in this comedy for years, was surprised. As soon as you got involved with Igor, Mikola started visiting Svetlana. What did you expect? All this time, you had been despising this wonderful man, preferring your lover. And Svetlana had truly fallen in love with Mikola. Anna could not even imagine that her calm and modest Mikola could have a mistress. She had never noticed anything like that in him. She didn't understand why he had been silent for so many years and hadn't said anything. She couldn't stand it and finally asked him when he came out to the gate alone one day. I didn't want to hurt my daughter, the ex-husband explained calmly. I thought you would come to your senses after all. I used to love you very much, so come back to me, she asked in a trembling voice. No, I've had enough of this life. You didn't respect me or appreciate me, so I don't need you anymore. And Svetlana is kind and sweet. She is pregnant now and we are very happy. This woman needs me without money or a place to live. Igor stopped coming to Anna to spend the night. He had a baby. Her daughter stopped communicating with her without any explanation. She started visiting her father, Mikola, and his new wife, avoiding meetings with her own mother. Recently, Anna found out the reason for her only daughter's behavior. As it turned out, she found out everything about her treacherous mother and hated her. The girl adored Mikola for his patience and fatherly love. Now Anna saw the happy life of two people in love in the neighboring house every day. Sometimes her adult daughter came to visit Mikola and Svetlana. The woman's heart ached to see her daughter embracing her beloved father, Mikola. At night, Anna felt the strongest loneliness, which made her weep inconsolably. Only now she realized how she had destroyed her life with her own hands and remained unwanted by any of her family. She was despised and hated by everyone. Dear listeners, your support is very important to us. If you like our story, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very motivating for us. We need your feedback to improve our content.